have another review. It's not free. It's like 94 bucks, I believe, or regular like 92, but I have it on my system, so it shows 0. I am not saying it's 0. You literalists out there, and you know who you are, I don't want to say it's 0. All right, so I've been spending some time with this. I have a bottle of pop with me, so I'm going to drink it. And I have found it quite useful. I am generally not a preacher. I have been in the past, and doubtful I will be again. I say doubtful because while I'm pretty sure tomorrow is tomorrow, who knows what might happen from time to time. Now, I am in favor of quoting good people, not Joel Osteen. So I'm also more in favor of what like Thomas Oden, a Methodist, has called paleo-orthodoxy. So you go back, further back, and you find out what they said. So this kind of helps and kind of fits into that particular world view. All right, so before I show you what's on my software screen, I wanted to show you some of the things that's on the here, because you're just generally not going to go and click through. All right, so yeah, you have sermon prep. How is it sermon prep? All right, so let's say I want to talk about doctrines. A lot of Protestants seem to think that doctrine's just, oh look, there's one in the New Testament. Bam, it's a doctrine. Find the Trinity in the New Testament completely and perfectly shaped and formed. You won't. So let's say I want to talk about the polishing of doctrines and how doctrines shape and move. Well, I will go to Vincent. And by the way, Vincent and Boethius are my two favorite theologians of this time period. A lot better than Augustine. Augustine had nothing on these people. But beyond that, all right, so sermon prep, you have some devotional, you have some of that stuff that's going on, which is really, really nice. All right. Preaching themes, I pointed at it with my finger. You can't see that. I'm sorry. Preaching themes, false teaching, education. This is one of the problems I had with it, that it is not hyperlinked between. It's something that maybe they can do later on with all these quotes. If they are going to have something that's thematic, maybe to hyperlink that. So if I click education, all of the quotes pop up. Hint, hint. You do have scripture. That's nice. And of course it's linked. If I go to 1 Corinthians, it will pop up with that in the search area. All right, so Vincent, scripture must be polished, not maimed, which is what a lot of Protestants did. Conservative Protestants, I should say, and what it should not be mutilated, which I think is a lot of what liberals and progressives tend to do to ancient doctrines. Here, they say they have 1,500 different quotes. In each volume, you have a volume for early church, medieval church, Reformation, Puritans, in the modern church. 300 quotes each. You have several different authors, several. It's a lot more. Unfortunately, what you have, let's say, all right, see this? They're only listing like 6, 7, whatever. And you're like, what the? That's not good. But it's a lot more. What's also nice is that each of them has the slide that you can download. If you look at my blog, I've included one of those. You can put that up on the screen for those churches who use screens. You can use it on your YouTube, so on and so forth. And again, you have that added feature. So if you don't know who somebody is, this guy, I can't even pronounce his name. Doesn't really tell me much about that, but it tells me where it's from. All right, So I have all of them. I like the Meister. I like that quote. I've actually never seen that quote, but it reminds me of the Book of Wisdom and it reminds me of what Justin Martyr said about salvation on a piece of wood, i.e., the cross. So you kind of get into some of that, right? People who have studied this, you should be able to draw more lines and go on and go out. Now, let's look at the modern church because that's one of those things you're going to want to look at. Am I right? You have Chesterton, Napoleon Bonaparte. That's really odd. Uh, Warfield, John Wesley. You have Whitfield. You have recognized solid preachers, theologians, quotes that are sourced. As Abraham Lincoln once said, the problem with the internet is that anybody can make up anything and put it online. We see that with young earth creationists, mythicists, other people who have nothing else except in their life except to play with a keyboard. But here you have really substantial quotes. Again, they're sourced. That's awesome, right? Because sources matter. See? And you can go through that. You can send the keynotes, send the PowerPoint, save as. Okay? And so you get the general gist. Why do you need this for $100? Well, if you are preaching and you want to rely on something more than, say, yourself, and your congregation likes to feel that they're a part of the broader view of Christianity, of the great tradition with a capital T, you would like something like this because it allows you to build upon what others have done, and that is part of the Christian experience, is that you build upon what others have done. You build upon the tradition, you build upon the theology of others, and if you're not preaching, let's say you're not, you're just like me, well, maybe you would like to have some sort of devotional material. You can go and focus and dwell on this. As a Methodist, I really like having these Wesley quotes. Bear up the hands that hang down by faith and prayer, support the tottering knee, so on and so forth. These will go well on my Facebook page. Also, they'll point this out. They've removed the these and the thous and the ifs, and they make it modern language. So you don't have to worry about that aspect of it, right? You got some substantial authors here. Puritans, I'm not a Puritan type of guy, but yet they have this arena. Jonathan Edwards, Lightfoot, some of these other ones that you will recognize that you should be able to use whether or not you are part of the Puritan descent. I'm not. It goes Jesus, John Wesley, Joel. Oddly enough, it's in the Bible, I promise. So you have all this. Now, a couple areas of improvement. Would be nice to include, like I said, the hyperlinks between this. I like to see this. If I want to hyperlink in this book between power, I'll see all the quotes. What would be an added benefit is when you hyperlink this, you see the quotes from the early church about power or about victory or about violence all the way through to the modern church. This would help in studying historical theology. All right, so again, fantastic set, good for devotion, good for preaching, good for you.